Welcome back to Integrated Curriculum, and in this class we are going to continue with our globe models. So as you can see, I have several different examples. The interesting thing is that this one is pretty solid, and I think it's going to make a great globe. Here I had some missing newspaper, so I have to go back and do that here too, so you can see the balloon a little bit. And I also took some of your ideas and I went to Hobby Lobby and got the styrofoam ball. So here it is 7.6 inches in diameter, but when you multiply that by 3.14, which is pi, you get approximately a little bit less than 24 inches. So this one is going to work. The one that's 7.6 inches is going to work approximately. So we'll see how that works out too. But here's our question that we're going to also consider today as we continue to work on putting the longitude and latitude lines on our globe. The mystery that John Harrison was trying to solve is, what about our moon model? So since we're doing paper mache, we might as well go ahead and make our moon at the same time. And I wanted to ask you, what do you think about this as a moon? Do you think that looks about right? Or do you think that's too big or too small? Well, just answer that question for yourself, and then we'll go back and see whether this is too big or too small. Okay, in order to calculate how our distance around our Earth relates to our distance around our moon, we're going to look at some facts. Our globe Earth model is 24 inches around. So as you can see, it's 24,902 miles is the distance around the Earth. So if you look at it from above, or however you're looking at it, around the outside, it's going to be 24,902 miles. Have you ever heard that the Earth or the moon is 1/6 the mass of the Earth? Well, that's true. The moon's mass is 1/6. So does that mean that we could take 24 inches and divide it by 6 and get the distance around? Well, if we did that, the distance around our moon model would be 4 inches, because 24 divided by 6 is 4. But when we look at it, it looks way too small. And I think the reason that it's way too small is you can see how small it is. That can't be right. The moon can't be that small compared to the Earth. It looks bigger than that. And the reason why it's not this small is because this is a linear measurement, but mass is not a linear measurement. So if we want to see how far it is around the moon, we need to look at the number of miles around the moon, and that's 6,786 miles. So then we're going to take the 24,902 miles of the Earth and then see the relationship between the 24,000 and the 6,000. That's not 1/6. That looks more like 1/4, approximately. But to do the math exactly right, we'll have to set that aside and do that right now. Okay, so here's how we're going to do the math. We're going to take our moon model and our Earth model. We're going to take the number of miles around the Earth, divide that by the number of miles around the moon. We get 3.669. So if we take our 24 inches and divide that by the same ratio here, 3.669, we get 6.54 inches. And that means that our model Earth is 24 inches around and our model moon is 6.54 inches. And as you can see, it's more than the 4 inches that we originally calculated based on the mass, since we can't calculate it based on the mass. So this is going to be our moon. And now we're going to see how that circumference compares with what we were estimating. So I wrap my 6.54 inches around this model, and as you can see, this ball is a little bit bigger in comparison with our 24-inch circumference Earth than our moon. So when you're making your moon, you need to use 6.54 inches, and so it would help to have a little balloon to make your moon model with that. It's about that big. That looks more like it. Okay, so if I'm going to make my little moon, it has to be a circumference of 6.54 inches. But this particular balloon is a little off, so I think I'm going to just ball up some paper and make that. So here is an example. I took some newspaper and balled it up and put some tape around it. And it has a circumference of 6.54 inches. So this is going to be the right size for our model for when we do our light experiments. Okay, so if you thought that model moon was a little bit too big, you're right. So our 6.54 inches moon is there as a comparison to our 24 inches.